evolutionary scale. Listen, they call out and cry out for that. They demand that we give up everything that you have come to know, and you're supposed to give it up for what? For the sake of the earth. PETA goes around and tells you that the animal is more valuable than the human. And PETA will take and they'll promote their organization by supporting porno. Yeah. And putting up porn sites that's supported by PETA. Perversion is their religion. They're perverted beyond belief. These are educated individuals. These are college-educated individuals. These are individuals that have spent time in academia. A lot of them hold more than just a bachelor's degree. A lot of them are professors of colleges, and I've seen them on there where these professors at their college have come forth saying, you know what, climate change is real. We need to follow the science. Generation is religious, but a lost generation. Third thing is, this generation is rich, but miserable generation. It's a rich generation. This generation is financially more accessible to them than any other generation. I've never had the accessibility to money that you can get today. I mean, at the age, I don't know how many times I got turned down for a credit card when I was growing up. When I first graduated high school and started working and tried to apply for a credit card, I got turned down. Kids now in high school can apply and get a credit card. Accessible to money. Accessible to high wages. I mean, children now are making things. Listen, there are kids here in this room that probably work at Walgreens and some of these other places that made more money than I did 18 years ago when I came to Lee's Chapel and was going to work building a dairy barn for $10 an hour. And was glad to have it. Kids today won't even work for $10 an hour. They don't even want the minimum wage to be $10 an hour. They want it more than that. I had a discussion with some young people the other day. They said there's no way anybody could live on $10 an hour for minimum wage. I said, you're not supposed to be able to live on minimum wage. It's there as a starter. It's an introductory position. It's a high schooler's position. It's not made to raise a family on minimum wage. It is a stepping stone to move on from. The foolishness of this generation is rich, but it's miserable, so in debt, making more money than they can afford, and they can't even get out from living with their parents. More and more children are moving back into the house with their parents because they can't afford to live on their own. They cannot make it on their own. Why? They're so financially in debt. They have been so brainwashed that if they got that education, they got that sheepskin is what they call it, they get that sheepskin, that there are going to be people beating down the door to hire them. You know what Dr. Ruckman told us kids, or kids, we were kids to him, told us in Bible school? This man had 5 earned degrees. 5 earned degrees. He said, be a bricklayer, be a carpenter, be an electrician. He said, be able to do something with your hands where you can feed yourself. He said, I've got 5 earned degrees, and he said they wouldn't put me in a bread line. Amen? Now that was a man that had 5 earned degrees. That's what he said. He said, learn to be able to feed yourself. Be able to do something with your hands to where you can feed. Education's fine. You want a PhD? Fine, go get you one. But be able to feed your family, because that PhD ain't going to feed you. That's a piece of paper that hangs on the wall and it will not feed you. And the problem with this generation is that they no longer know how to work with their hands. We are losing the technical advantage that we had in my father's generation, watching them come up. I'm talking about watching the craftsmen of welders, carpenters, electricians, machinists. And we've got young people today that if the machine don't run on its own and all they've got to do is be able to punch in some numbers, they can't do it. If you gave them a slide rule like what we had to use in school, I hated that thing. Why? Because I wasn't that smart. But I remember that thing. They wouldn't be able to run it. Now I understand that academically a lot of